Gratitude for being aware and attentive. Let us be fully grounded in this moment here and now. As we begin this week, the new week, let us our hearts be full of gratitude, awareness, and attention. We consciously choose to use this instrument, the body, the divine eyes that are given for a purpose, to be used purposefully, to see the truth, the beauty all around, to see the divine in all. To see the truth all around, the nature, the beauty in the nature, beauty in every divine being all around us. Using the ears to hear the truth and only truth, to filter the unneeded, the unnecessary, to filter the lies, the delusions, to filter the temporary, to filter what's at the surface only, that bears no meaning, to filter that holds no value, no meaning, that is based on reactions, to the temporary, to use the mouth to speak the truth, to praise everything around us, to be thankful for every second, every scene, with grace, with royalty, using the hands in the right way. To perform those actions that are elevated. Behind all these senses is the mastermind, and as a being of light, I master the mind. Who's like a child, needing attention, and as a master, when I give the right attention to the mind, it's the most powerful, wondrous, subtle sense that if the mind is right, in the right attitude, used correctly, then everything else follows. All the other senses are just a manifestation. So I learn to use the mind once again in the right way, in an elevated manner. I use the mind with detachment. I no longer react to everything that emerges in the mind. I realize that those thoughts that are emerging in the mind are not necessarily based on truth, but rather based on patterns, habits that have been accumulated, repeated over time, birth after birth. And I consciously choose not to react or take them seriously. I choose to face them, tolerate them, using my powers. I choose to let them go. So let us pick one habit or something that you may be working with. It could be something very small, like letting go of sugar, for example, or salt, or whatever your practice may be. Could be some addiction, could be some habit. And if I have that habit that I do it 5 times every day, then let me observe it each time and be aware that yes, I am doing it. I choose to do it. That's step one, to accept that yes, it's there. And I create no guilt for doing it. It's there. And as a master of the senses of the mind, I consciously carry that habit. The habit is not being done through me, but as a master, this time I am using the senses with full awareness, acceptance. I am performing that habitual action. Could be indulging in ice cream or dessert or whatever. And that's perfectly fine, it's okay. But as I acknowledge and accept that habit does not have that 100% control over me anymore. Because it's no longer being done in autopilot mode. Like sometimes when we drive a car from point A to point B, our mind is somewhere else and we don't even realize that we drove from point A to point B and how we did it. It just happened. So this habit is no longer being performed in autonomous mode, but rather with full awareness and attention. And as I carry this habit 4, 5, 6 times a day, each time with full awareness, the process of change has already started. And I start to churn on it to realize the triggers and attainments. And I start to see the temporariness of it all. The triggers are temporary. The whole process of carrying the habit is temporary. The whole process of that temporary attainment. And I come to realize that everything that's done through the senses in this physical dimension is all temporary. I may still choose to do it with the full realization that this is not something that fulfills me, that makes me more or less than I am already. And sooner or later, the habit starts to weaken and weaken and weaken. And eventually I get to the point where that habit has zero effect on me. The attainment, the whole process becomes so weak, feeble, that the whole process dilutes and the habit is no longer there. And I replace it with something more elevated, something that's better, that's more fulfilling. And as we wrap up for the evening, we wish you a very, very good week ahead. We wish you peaceful, joyful, and a week full of mastery. Good night. Om Shanti.